What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about why Snapfire is a pretty bad hero this patch and has been for a pretty long time, and it really pains me to say and make this video. I really want Snapfire to be buffed. I want this hero to be back in the meta. I want to be able to play Snapfire a lot more often. I can still play Snapfire. It's not all doom and gloom. I can still play it from the mid lane, but it's not that great. I'm playing at a pretty big disadvantage just for the fact that I want to play the hero, so it can feel quite tough. I need to make sure I'm playing it into proper matchups, otherwise I'm going to get absolutely steamrolled and not do a whole lot for my team. So if you guys missed the way Snapfire was, please leave a comment down below and let me know if you guys are old Snapfire players. The way it used to be with the cookie and the Aghanim Scepter, the way how strong it used to be, and you used to just use it for fun, it was honestly just fantastic. I miss the Aghanim Scepter. Is okay, it's not really as good as it was before, and I really do miss the way you used to just throw usually centaurs or a faceless void. You'd pretty much lunge them across the map, get a super quick chrono and or a centaur stomp into 4 or 5 heroes. You used to be able to make some insane plays and it was really fun. Nowadays I'm pretty sure nobody ever builds Aghanim Scepter on Snapfire anymore. From what I've seen and all the builds people are going, it's not a thing. So I kind of built it the way I used to build it, and I think it still can work from the mid lane despite it having a 43% win rate, guys. According to Dota 2 Pro Tracker, Snapfire mid has a 43%. That is absolutely abysmal. It is so bad to be seeing such an abysmal win rate. If you are good at the hero and you have a good matchup, you could still come out on top. Now Snapfire doesn't really farm too quickly or too slowly. It's kind of in the middle. I think making her universal was a really big mistake. I don't like Snapfire universal. I really just miss old Snapfire. I don't think she belongs in the universal bracket. I think they could have done much better without her in there. But your build is going to be treads into bottle, then you're going to get a null talisman because the hero still has a ton of mana issues, and if you don't get the treads, your last hitting speed is absolutely abysmal. It's terrible. Honestly, you should not be last hitting whatsoever if you have no treads. You're going to be running out of mana constantly because your spells just cost too much and don't do enough damage. So she's been pretty much nerfed left, right, and center, but then you're going to get a Gleipnir, and then it's where the fun starts. You can either get a Daedalus, you can get a Scotty, you can get a Monkey King Bar, you can get a Diffusal if you're facing up against a Medusa, you can get pretty much any damage item you want. The hero does play a little bit like Sniper, like a glass cannon type style, where you build a ton of damage and very little defensive items, maybe a BKB if anything, but that's about it. The rest is going to be damage, and you're going to be doing a ton of damage when it comes to the late game. The hero doesn't do a whole lot in the early game other than your Mortimer's Kisses, which is going to be really good. If you can set it up with like a chrono, something like that, you're going to get a lot of value from the Mortimer's Kisses. It's still really good. Other than that, you're relying on making plays around the map as much as possible, and you're a very slow hero. You're not very fast, so you really have to watch your rotations because you can easily start falling behind, and that's something you don't want to see because the hero needs to make it to the late game. Some of the talents Snapfire has are not as crazy as they used to be. They've definitely gotten nerfed over the years, but I think they're in a decent spot. I think late game Snapfire is still an absolute beast and one of the toughest heroes to go up against. So if you do manage to hit the late game with a ton of items, you're going to be an absolute raid boss. There's something to look at. So the later the game goes, the stronger the Snapfire is going to be. Now let's talk about the facets. So your facets are Ricochet and Full Bore. I think both facets are absolute trash. I don't like the way Full Bore makes your scatter blast so freaking narrow that you can actually miss it, and that's extremely annoying to me. So I tend to go for Ricochet most of the time. I think it's the better facet, but regardless which one you pick, they're both garbage facets. I think they need a complete rework on Snapfire. You really need some better facets for a hero like Snap. These facets don't do anything for you. They don't help you do anything, and they're not good enough for you to even pick them. If you could pick no facet, I would pick no facet. They're absolute trash facets. Now let's talk about some of the matchups. So some of the best matchups are Ember Spirit, Beastmaster, Clinks, Marcy, Meepo. These matchups you do very well up against, especially heroes like Meepo. If they get caught in your Mortimer's Kisses, they can easily just die and get obliterated. Nowadays, with how weak Snapfire has gotten, even some of these matchups can become quite difficult for you to go up against. If you get roared, you're pretty much going to die. If you go up against a Clinks with even mediocre damage, you're pretty much going to die, and it just feels really tough until you hit the late game. That's pretty much the key if you are playing Snapfire right now. You are playing for like a 40-minute timing where you're 6 slotted, at least very farmed to the point where you have a lot of damage items and you're doing a ton of damage to a lot of targets at the same time. That's pretty much what you're going for. Some of the bad matchups are Bloodseeker, Spirit Breaker, Wind Ranger, Darkseer. Bloodseeker being the strongest carry in the patch, highest win rate, is also a very good reason not to be picking the Snapfire. So if you see a Bloodseeker, do not pick the Snapfire because you're not going to have a really good time. And the fact that Bloodseeker just does not care about your entire kit, even though you're going to be doing a ton of damage in the late game, I don't think you're going to get there with a Bloodseeker. And even so, by being ruptured, you're just hindered the way you have to play the fight. Snapfire doesn't like going up against heroes that get in your face, that want to man fight you constantly. Heroes like Night Stalker or any of the spirits can get on top of you. If they're ahead, you're going to have a lot of issues. Snapfire wants to be the hero that is just kind of sitting in the back, doing as much damage as possible. You can tank here and there. You're not very fragile. You're kind of tanky, but you do need the ability to be able to escape. So you don't want to be forced in a situation where you're building a lot of defensive items, because then you're really not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And that's pretty much the reason why you're picking Snap in the first place, to do that damage or to do as much damage inside a Chronosphere. That's pretty much why you're picking the hero. Other than that, I don't recommend playing Snapfire unless you're a spammer and you know all your matchups, you know exactly what you're doing. And even so, I still don't recommend you guys to play the hero. I've been playing it from time to time, only when the game has been absolutely perfect for the Snap. Other than that, I have not been picking the hero. It's just very, very terrible, and I think it definitely needs a buff. Let me know in the comments below, what will you guys change about Snap to make it meta again? That would be the question. I think the hero needs a faster fire rate, it needs more mana, and it needs more damage on its spells. The spells are not doing a whole lot of damage. Even the Mortimer's Kisses, they feel very, very weak. I want more damage on the Snapfire. I want Snapfire mid to be meta again. Let me know, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.